If you don't want to vote for Jill, vote for Donald Trump. But do not give a vote to Kamala Harris and expect to be welcomed by my community.
And how did that turn out? When Jared Kushner literally told you what their plans were for Gaza.
But I'm not sure there's much left of Gaza at this point. I mean, Gaza's waterfront property.
You still chose not to vote for Kamala. Not only did you fuck us, you fucked yourselves. And now we can watch America burn while Gaza gets leveled.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
Taking the moral high ground was stupid, and it got you this.
But the Riviera of the Middle East, this could be something that could be so bad. This could be so magnificent.
It got you nothing.
Do you guys remember this?
And Trump's advisors have created a 900-page blueprint of their agenda for a second term. They call it Project 2025.
And this?
I have nothing to do with Project 2025.
And this, where Trump said, I know nothing about Project 2025 and have no idea who's behind it? Well, this is a post that he made today saying he has a meeting with Russ Vought of Project 2025. Kamala Harris was right about
If this president is thinking about putting us in a position where we're in a war with Iran, the consequences will be absolutely unacceptable and tragic in terms of the young men and women who are American soldiers.
Kamala Harris was right about everything. Remember when she said this?
He is saying that he would use the military to go after them.
And then they told you that it was a lie?
That they are now talking about deploying 1,500 military.
She warned us.
For everyone who didn't believe Kamala when she said if you give him power back, he's going to turn into a dictator. For everyone who didn't listen to Kamala when she said look at his policies, they're going to make prices go up. Now you can take his word for it. Over the weekend, first he said on Friday, I couldn't care less if they raise prices. I couldn't care less. I hope they raise their prices. No, I couldn't care less. Talking about the effects of his tariffs and the inflation they'll bring. And then today, Sunday, Trump won't rule out seeking a third term in the White House. He tells NBC News there are methods for doing so. When asked to clarify, no, I'm not joking. Great.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, we are reacting to a video that is making interesting argument. Trump voters are now beginning to realize that Kamala may have been right about some of the problems facing Americans. During the election, Americans had a lot of promises about the economy, prices, energy, jobs, and the future of the country. But now, as the people dealing with everyday expenses and political decisions, some voters are asking serious questions. Did we make the right choice? And that is what makes this conversation so interesting.
Hey, do you remember back in 2024 when MAGA said if you vote for Kamala Harris, gas is going to go up, groceries are going to get higher, and we'll be at war with Iran within 1 to 2 years? Well, if you voted for Kamala Harris, that has happened. But the thing is what I don't understand is Kamala Harris isn't the president. Donald Trump is. Now, she did predict that this was going to happen, but a lot of people didn't believe her. Just like she said that Trump wasn't going to put America first, and he hasn't. He put Israel first, then went to Venezuela. Now we're at war with Iran. He just got back from China. That's 4. America's 5th. America's in 5th place.
Well, Kamala Harris is right about everything, it seemed, because Trump doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Come on, dumpers.
Kamala Harris was right about everything.
He will target and punish those who disagree with him or refuse to bend to his will. He calls these Americans the enemy within and says that he would use the American military to go after American citizens. Journalists whose stories he doesn't like. Nonpartisan election officials who refuse to cheat by finding a few extra votes for him. Judges who insist on following the law instead of following him. It is for reasons like these that General Mark Milley, the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Donald Trump's top general, has called Trump, and I quote, fascist to the core. And it is clear Donald Trump is increasingly unstable and unhinged, and will stop at nothing to claim unchecked power for himself.
The right to do anything I want to do. I'm the president of the United States.
MAGA was right, y'all. They said if you voted for Kamala, that gas prices would go up, we'd be in a war with Iran, jobs would be harder to get, the economy would be a mess, and elections would never be the same. Well, I voted for Kamala, and here we are.
It's time to speak up. Well, it appears the joke's on me. It appears I have been the biggest fool alive. You see, before the last couple of days, I knew that there was a segment of MAGA who just hated, who just wanted to burn the world down, and they don't care who they hurt in the meantime. I knew there was that section, but I really, really thought that most of MAGA just didn't get it. I really thought they just didn't understand. They didn't understand economics because it's complicated. They hadn't studied Project 2025, so they didn't know what was coming. But I really thought when he got in there and started doing the things that hurt so many people, that they would realize, and that they would, but they don't care. Y'all have been telling me this for 2 months, and I kept saying, no, we just have to explain it to them. We just have. Now, I know there are a few, and I thank you guys. You make it worth sticking with this. But over the last couple of days, I have realized that the majority of Republicans do not care how many people are hurt. And they are exactly what Palpatine said. They're the ones he was talking about when he said he could unalive someone in public and they would still vote for him. I thought they just wanted lower egg prices. I thought they were struggling in the economy and it was hard and they wanted their lives to be easier, and they listened to that. And that's why they voted for him. But they don't care. They literally don't care how many other people in this world are hurt. See, the difference is I'm willing to pay more for my eggs if it means no one in my country goes hungry tonight. I am willing to pay more for my eggs if it means everybody can have an egg. But they really don't care. And I am heartbroken that so many in my country don't care. That so many won't go love their neighbor. But I want to thank those of you who are. You're the ones keeping me going. Go love your neighbor.
Baby, when Kamala said these things, baby, she didn't lie. Number one, Trump is a man governed by grievances, one who would focus on himself and his enemies list. I don't see a lie there. Baby, when Kamala said Trump will use the military on his own American citizens, I don't see a lie there either. When she said that Trump is unstable, he is unhinged, baby, that ain't a lie either. And when she called him a petty tyrant, baby, she didn't lie either. When she said on day one, when Trump will step foot in that White House, baby, he is coming after them enemies. And baby, he ain't stopped doing that since he went into that White House. Tell me Kamala did not warn folks. She warned folks, and folks still did not listen.
Donald Trump went on a rant about his own economic policy where he proved that Kamala Harris knew more about his plan than he did. Now, of course, at the core of Donald Trump's economic plan is tariffs, and he has a complete misunderstanding of them, but he let the world know that Kamala does understand them. Take a listen.
We're going to be a tariff nation. It's not going to be a cost to you. It's going to be a cost to another country. I heard Kamala the other day, Comrade Kamala. She said, oh, if you do that, he's raising your taxes. No.
Yes. If you bought a t-shirt, a very comfortable t-shirt from China, the importing company has to pay a tax on that. That's the tariff, not China, the importing company. That tax is then passed on to the consumer. It is so basic. So Trump supporters, help me square this. How are you supporting a guy who does not understand his own economic policy? He doesn't even have the basics, but he admits his opponent does.
Kamala Harris was right about everything. The former vice president warned the American people that Donald Trump would send the military after all of us. And we have seen it clear as day. He sent the National Guard to California. Now the National Guard is here in Washington, D.C., along with other federal agencies, walking around with rifles in hand as though they are in the streets of Baghdad. Next up on the list is Chicago. And Donald Trump is going a step further and creating a special task force within the National Guard that will do the work of what your day-to-day police officer should be doing. All under the disguise of controlling riots and reining in crime. Crime that is at an all-time low across the United States. And the interesting thing about all of this, he's only going after blue states, but completely overlooking the fact that many red states deal with crime also. Again, you just couldn't vote for the black woman, right?
The American people now have 9 months more evidence showing that Kamala Harris was right. And this is the point that I made in the piece today, is I'm very sorry for what happened to Charlie Kirk. I'm very sad about it. I view it as an attack on the nation, but I don't view it as something that should change the Democratic Party's posture. Just look at what Trump has done in the last 2 weeks. We're 2 weeks removed from him posting an AI-generated image of my city, the city of Chicago, on fire because he name-palmed it at the same time he's promising to invade it. He's using the FCC to threaten to have Jimmy Kimmel and other comedians he doesn't like removed. That is fascism. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, you should call it.
There was one person who predicted all of this, and people said she was lying, or that she had Trump derangement syndrome, that she did not know what she was talking about. But it has all come to pass that she was exactly right.
Donald Trump intends to use the United States military against American citizens who simply disagree with him. People he calls, quote, the enemy from within. America, this is not a candidate for president who is thinking about how to make your life better. This is someone who is unstable, obsessed with revenge, consumed with grievance, and out for unchecked power.
And she was 100% right. But she's a woman, she's black, but can't have that.
Donald Trump has no plan for you. And when you look at his economic plan, it's all about tax breaks for the richest people. I am offering what I describe as an opportunity economy, and the best economists in our country, if not the world, have reviewed our relative plans for the future of America. What Goldman Sachs has said is that Donald Trump's plan would make the economy worse, mine would strengthen the economy. What the Wharton School has said is Donald Trump's plan would actually explode the deficit. 16 Nobel laureates have described his economic plan as something that would increase inflation and by the middle of next year would invite a recession. You just have to look at where we are and where we stand on the issues. And I'd invite you to know that Donald Trump actually has no plan for you because he is more interested in defending himself than he is in looking out for you.
Biggest issue is cost of living in United States. People go to grocery store, fill up their cars, pay rent, pay bills, and realize their money simply doesn't stitch as far it used to. And when that is happen, political promises start getting tested by reality. This is where the debate over Kamala becomes interesting during the campaigns. Kamala warned voters about the potential consequences of a certain policies and argued that the economy was still facing serious challenges. At the same time, many Trump supporters strongly disagreed. But now, if some voters are experiencing higher costs or becoming frustrated with economic condition, they may be looking back at what Kamala said and asking whether some of her warnings deserve more attention. And let's be clear, doesn't mean every Trump voter has changed their mind. There are still millions of Americans who strongly support Trump and believe his policy are the right decision for their country. But politics is constantly changing. A voter can support candidate and still becoming disappointed with the results, and someone who voted for Trump can later say, maybe I was wrong about a certain things. That is not weakness. That is part of the democracy. The bigger question is whether the promises made to the voters are actually producing the results people expected. Because at the end of the day, Americans don't just care about political speeches. They care about their paycheck, their rent, their groceries, their gas bill, their job, and their future. And if people feel that life is becoming harder, they are naturally going to question the leadership they supported. Okay, that's why this conversation is bigger than Trump versus Kamala. It is about whether all politicians, the public or Democrats, can actually deliver what they promise people. So, guys, what do you think? Are some of Trump supporters genuinely starting to reconsider what Kamala said during the election? Or is it simply another political argument being pushed online? Guys, I'd like to know what you think in the comment. And if you enjoy reaction like this, you know what to do. Make sure you hit like button, subscribe to the channel, then turn on notification because you don't want to miss the next video. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. I love you guys. Ciao, ciao.